What's up everyone, welcome to Maelstrom Gaming, I'm Maelstrom, and today we have a replay commentary of Uther on Dragonshire. We're actually on the red side today, so let's switch sides. Uther is probably, if he's not the best support, he's the second best support. He's kind of up there with Brightwing as the go-to meta supports at the moment. You know, you'll usually see them in a team composition, like one against the other. You don't really see the other healers as much as you see Uther and Brightwing. And let's talk a little bit about what he specializes in. He specializes in healing, of course. That's kind of his big deal, is just, I heal you now, with Holy Light and Holy Radiance. And that's kind of something that Brightwing lacks, for instance. Brightwing doesn't really have any direct heals. She has a lot of passive AoE healing, but Uther has a lot of single target healing with Holy Light. Heal an ally for 175 health, it scales, of course. And that you just saw was Hammer of Justice, which stuns an enemy for 1 second and deals a little bit of damage. And that's also one of the niches that Uther fills, is a lot of CC, especially if you end up taking Divine Storm at level 10. Holy Radiance, heal all allies in a line for 100 health at scales, and deal some damage to enemies. You'll generally use this as a heal, not a damaging ability, but you can use it as a damaging ability in certain situations. Now, there wasn't a lot we could have done to save the Tychus. We tried to Holy Radiance him, but it didn't actually end up going off in time. He was a little too far pushed up to try to get the Asmodan. I was pretty sure we weren't going to get him, and I was pretty far up as well to try to help secure that kill, but didn't actually end up working out. Now, at level 1, we are going to be taking Conjurer's Pursuit, and these are okay. This is pretty bad. This is okay. This is pretty okay. This makes it so you're never going to have any mana issues later on in the game, which is pretty important as Uther, because if you don't have enough mana for a heal and someone dies because of it, that's a pretty big deal. And block's not going to save you all the time. This isn't going to help you a lot of the time. This might help you, so I might take this. But let's take a look here. We're trying to cap the top shrine in time, but we didn't actually make it. They actually end up getting the Dragon Knight at a minute 30. Which is pretty crazy. So we're going to end up moving down to try to stop the push. And we actually have a really solid team comp for Uther to be in. And we'll talk about that just a second when the Dragon Knight goes down. So right now, just trying to make sure no one takes too much damage and healing it up if they do. We know we can kind of push a little bit, or push out a little bit, because we can just heal ourselves. We're trying to draw the fire from the Dragon Knight. This is actually a pretty uneventful Dragon Knight if we take a look at the damage on here. They actually lose Asmodan. I'm watching the Kerrigan to make sure she doesn't get like charged or something. I'm not sure, that might actually kill her, so I'm kind of watching for that. And the Dragon Knight's going to go down in 6 seconds, so we're just kind of holding off. The thing is punted over here, which is kind of scary, but he's going to be fine. And the Zeratul shows up. I try to stun him in range of the tower, but it doesn't end up working out. Level 4. We're going to be taking Protective Shield. And this is mainly because Protective Shield is just so much better than all of these. Nice combo there from the Kerrigan. You know, Amplified Healing is okay. It's not really that good since you're healing and you're not really getting healed that much. It's okay, though. Hammer of the Lightbringer, basic attacks restore mana. Pretty bad since we're taking Conjurer's Pursuit. This is okay if you're not very good with Uther and you can't remember to use Protective Shield. And there are some times in this game where we don't actually use Protective Shield when we definitely should have. But yeah, we have an amazing team for Uther. We have the Illidan, who we're going to be trying to shield a lot. We're going to be taking Divine Shield this game. The Kerrigan, who we can also be shielding. The ETC, who, you know, he's going to be taking Mosh Pit, I believe. So we're going to be able to use, like, Hammer of Justice after people get out of the Mosh Pit. We can use Holy Radiance for some AoE damage in that as well to heal people, you know, while we're dealing damage. Tychus is not really super, you know, symbiotic with Uther, but it's not bad. You know, we needed a ranged DPS, so, you know, he's fine. Not the biggest deal in the world, but he's not bad. You know, we can shield him too if things get bad for him. And we're kind of in an awkward situation because no one was really helping us mid, so we, like, instead of losing experience and not soaking it, we just have to soak it as a lone support, which is okay. We're pretty safe. We're not really going to die ever, just because we have so much healing, and we have Protective Shield, we can stun people and run away. We're just not going to die. Level 7, going to be taking Cleanse this game. That's mainly to deal with Malfurion and Tyrael, maybe. You know, I think you can actually counter Tyrael's ultimate by cleansing the person who gets ulted, but it's kind of hard to do. I've never actually pulled it off. You know, Clairvoyance has its use. Holy Fire is pretty bad. Burden of Guilt can be pretty good, just because, you know, it's a lot of CC, you're just piling it on, you know. I wanted to kind of jump on the Zeratul, but then the Vala shows up, and, you know, there's not a lot we can do against all three of these people with the Illidan. Wave of Light is okay, but we're not going to really have any mana issues later on in the game. Cleanse is probably the best bet, just to make sure someone gets away from something or gets out of the Malfurion route, stuff like that. So we're going to be moving towards the top lane just to try to see if we can save people, and that was an amazing combo. I think the Vala actually ends up dying. I'm not sure if the Malfurion could have saved her by putting the heal on the Vala instead, but we'll never know. And another amazing stun. Like, the Azmodan kind of just stood in it, but still. We're doing a lot of work up here. We don't have our Divine Shield, so we can't save anyone yet. The Kerrigan's going to go back, and we're going to hold this Shrine, because we can actually hold it pretty indefinitely, at least against one target. So we get that. And we almost get it, but the Malfurion's being Malfurion. And Tychus goes to deal with him, and Vala shows up, and Tyrael shows up, and it's just a mess. We kind of want to jump on the Zeratul. We get the stun off, and we're waiting for him to blink, and she's going to use the amazing combo and just completely massacre him. We get a little bit of damage with Holy Radiance as well. So right now I'm going to move it down middle to try to secure the lane so we can actually take the Dragon Knight, because we're in a kind of awkward position. I'm going to stun that just to stop the laser beam. Level 10 we're going to be taking Divine Shield. Let's talk a little bit about the choices here. Now, looking at our team composition, let's look at this first actually. Looking at a Divine Shield, make an allied hero invulnerable, so invincible, can't take damage, but you can heal them, and increase their movement speed by 20% for 3 seconds. So this is great to throw on like the Illidan or the Kerrigan when they're jumping in there, or when they're at like half health and they're taking a lot of damage and they're receiving a lot of focus fire on them. Great to save them, and it's also great for like retreating. You know, if someone's relatively low and you need to get them out of there, you just pop this on them and they get 20% movement speed, which is pretty massive. Now, Divine Storm isn't bad, and to tell you the truth, I'm more used to using Divine Storm than Divine Shield. I played a lot of Uther. Most of my Uther levels come from when I was playing in Alpha, when Divine Storm was just really, really, really strong. And I suppose it was nerfed a little bit, or Divine Shield was buffed. I haven't actually looked at that, but everyone just tells me, take Divine Shield, is so much better now. I'll have to actually look at the patch notes. So I've been trying to get used to Divine Shield, but Divine Storm still has its place. You know, in this comp, it actually might not be terrible, because we have an ETC who's running Mosh Pit, so we can just combo off of that, and a Kerrigan who's running like Maelstrom, I believe. Is that the name? I think so. So we get a lot of AoE damage from this. But Divine Shield can just save a lot of people. We get some pretty amazing saves later in the game, so stay tuned for that. We're trying to get the Dragon Knight here, but, you know, there's just too much interference from the enemy team. But, as I say that, you know, they completely just ignore him. We almost get the kill on the Tyrael from a nice Hammer of Justice. And we're just looking to push down towers now. Almost get a combo on somebody. We get people pulled in here, but not a lot to be done. And we're looking to save people here. You know, if someone gets low, we want a Divine Shield, then we want to throw some Holy Lights, Waves of Radiance out. We're kind of low on mana, which is kind of scary. I should probably heal this guy, but I'm kind of scared that the Kerrigan's going to get focused down. Now we're out of mana. Now we got it back. You get the wall, which is great. So we came out ahead, definitely, from that Dragon Knight. You know, we got so much more value than they did for the first Dragon Knight. They didn't even get a tower here, and we got their entire wall with cannons and all. And we get another one here, actually. I'm a little worried about the Illidan. You know, I was super worried at this point. He does end up going down. Like, I think he overstayed. I think the Dragon Knight should have just attacked a little, because it is ETC in here. He's pretty good at escaping if he needs to. And just, I gotta preface this. This is the coolest thing I've seen all game. This is really awesome. Check this out. The ETC is going to get a mosh pit right here. There, you see him going off. Boom. And the Kerrigan pulls everyone in. Oh my gosh. What I wouldn't give for Divine Storm right there. But, Yeah, we're going to try to actually get the Divine Shield on the ETC, just to make sure he didn't die. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe he might have, you know, the last strafe hit would have killed him. And we get a nice stun on the ball to actually secure the kill from the Kerrigan combo. That's one of the things I really love about having, like, a Kerrigan, an Arthas. Those are the main ones that you can really combo off of. You know, Kerrigan lands her combo. Diablo's another one as well. And you just stun right after. Or you stun and she sets up the combo. You know, it's pretty strong, honestly. You know, that much CC. This is 1 second, and Kerrigan has, let's take a quick look. Stun for 1 second, and this is essentially like a 0.5 stun. So that's like 2.5 seconds of a stun. That's pretty crazy, if you think about it. On one target, all while auto-attacking them, just wow. Just looking to support. That's kind of the role we're playing, is support. So we're looking to make sure our other allies do well. Almost get the combo on the Zeratul, but not quite. Level 13, we're going to be taking Shrink Ray, and that's just because all the other talents are really, really bad. Like, after using Holy Light, your next basic attack's heals. Like, it's just not as good as Shrink Ray, which can do a lot of things. Now, we actually throw Divine Shield on the Illidan to make sure he doesn't take a lot of damage, because, you know, he's just popping into Metamorphosis. We probably should have waited until he popped meta, but it worked out. Tyke is barely getting away. Ooh. We don't have any mana. Or we don't have any cooldowns. Now, we probably could have saved ourselves right there. Holy Radiance just came up, but we probably would have died anyway. Like, it's not super big deal. So we're going to try to heal the Illidan, heal the minions, you know, just heal some shit. Or Uther. So we got a pretty decent Divine Shield there. It didn't actually end up working out too big for our team. But, you know, it wasn't the worst thing. You know, we got a kill. Kind of secured our advantage a little bit. So we're back up now, and let's talk a little more about what we're trying to do in fights and what we're watching for. So we're trying to watch for the Malfurion roots and trying to see who gets rooted and maybe cleansing them from that. And I actually want to let's back up 10 seconds. I totally forgot about this moment, but it was actually pretty cool. We see the Kerrigan going on the Tyrael, and she actually gets the kill on the Tyrael, but the Vala shows up and is dealing a ton of damage, and the Tyrael is about to explode on Kerrigan. So we'll see here. She Maelstroms, and is going to get the kill on the Tyrael, but he's about to explode. And Vala's doing so much damage. At this point, check this out. We had Protective Shield just came up, and we're spamming Holy Light and Protective Shield. Bam! She's totally fine. And that's one of the big strengths of Uther, is he has a lot of, oh shit, let me save you right now abilities, Divine Shield being the biggest one, of course. And without our help, Kerrigan definitely would have died. And it was pretty amazing. I thought that was really cool. You know, that was like one of my favorite Uther moments of recent history. It was just awesome. Being able to save people is so much fun as a support. That's kind of your job, is to save people. Make sure they're not going to die. And make sure the enemy team is going to die without actually dealing that damage yourself. So we have top, we're looking to take bot. We have knights from bot thanks to Illidan. And we're going to show up down here. We get a stun on the Malfurion. We think the Illidan was going to go on him, but he didn't actually do that. And we're looking to ult Illidan if he gets into trouble. But we get an amazing just mosh pit, deal a lot of damage from the Illidan, a decent amount at least. And now it's kind of awkward because we're in a bad position. We need to just get out, so let's just ult ourselves, right? You know, Illidan's in a healthy position. We can afford to do this, but we are going to go down. At this point, we're just going to secure the retreat for all of our team. Of course, Illidan's just doing his thing. And that was a 2-for-1, so it was definitely worth it. We're just spamming our Q. Also, we should definitely say, you know, when you die, you get Eternal Devotion. We'll talk about that in just a second. Going to actually destroy the Malfurion there. So that was definitely worth it in the end. When you die, I'm not quite sure what the Tychus was doing there. I think that was a mistake. Upon dying, become an invulnerable spirit for up to 10 seconds. While in spirit form, you can heal allies with Flash of Light, which is essentially a weaker Holy Light with like a 2-second cooldown. Maybe it's more like 1.5 or something. Nice kill on the Vala there from the Kerrigan. Just, Kerrigan is so strong in our comp, and she's a very good, or Brandon is a very good Kerrigan. So yeah, we should group and definitely try to team up. So Illidan actually gets into the Dragon Knight. We actually still had top, so we're in a pretty good position. We have the Dragon Knight, but he's taking a lot of damage from this fort. He ends up taking a lot of damage at least. And team's not there yet. Now I'm kind of there. I wish I could heal the Dragon Knight. That'd be so cool. Get the stun on the Zeratul, and it actually secures the kill. And, oh, let's actually talk about it real quick. Level 16, we are going to be taking Benediction. Yeah. Now, all of these are generally okay. You know, Imposing Presence is okay if there's a lot of auto-attackers on the enemy team. Not really the case here. You know, maybe you could make an argument for it. Hardened Focus, this is what I used to take a lot. Well, above 80% life, your basic ability cooldowns regenerate 50% faster, and this makes you sort of like the definition of a healer. You just sit back and heal people and stun people when they come close. Gathering Radiance is okay. You know, if you have like another healer, maybe you could take this. But Benediction, man, this is just really strong. You know, I don't really use it too well this game, but what you can essentially do is you can double stun, essentially, because the cooldown, basically, it reduces the cooldown by 10 seconds, right? There's a GCD, if you will, for Hammer of Justice, so you stun, well, if you have Benediction up, you stun, and you can stun basically immediately after like 0.25 seconds later, you can stun again, which is super strong if you're like chasing down someone or, you know, you're trying to control a fight. It doesn't work as well with these two abilities because you still have to wait 2 seconds, but it still works, you know, if you need to like heal someone pretty quickly. It still works. So we're going to be trying to double stun people with Benediction. And we basically use this at the start of a fight and just double stun. Pretty valuable if you can actually do it properly. So, DK, still a little bit healthy. Just trying to poke around, see if we can get in anywhere. And that's a situation where we definitely should have double stunned, I think. And we should have cleansed here. Let's take a quick look back, because we're going to die here eventually. I believe, at least. Let's take a quick look at my mistakes, because they were pretty massive, and they were definitely solutions that we should have been aware of. So, first mistake, we should have Benedictioned, double stunned so the Kerrigan could have got in and probably just killed her immediately. But we don't do that, we just stun her. And she gets away. I think we could have killed her. And look at this. We get judgmented and we get rooted. You can still cleanse yourself while you're judgmented or stunned. It still works. We should have cleansed ourselves and protective shelled us. But instead we have to run away and get a shield or a divine shield on us, and we're just gonna die. You know, we just take so much damage. We do get a lot of healing off on the Kerrigan. She probably just should have kept running. Maybe leapt to this minion or something. But we made a ton of mistakes there. We didn't use the abilities that were in our kit. We didn't use our abilities. We should have used our abilities, especially the ones on our action bar. Because we definitely could have lived there. I am certain we could have lived there. If we cleansed ourselves properly, you know, I didn't really expect so much damage to be coming, so I just kind of fat-fingered it, I guess, and kind of panicked. Which is a mistake. You should be prepared for these sorts of things. And then we should have protective shielded us. We would have been fine. We probably would have ended up divine shielding ourselves anyway, but still, you know, Asmodan just pushing up way too far. You know, he saw that Illidan and Tychus were up here, and he saw them leave, so he should have probably left himself. He might have lived. Probably would have lived, honestly. So we're back up. I did shrink, excuse me. Is this English? Is this the English language I'm speaking? We did shrink ray someone to try to get away a little better, but, you know, we did die in the end still. So, not a lot to do on the map, so just take knights. And giants. And then we're going to push out and do all that we can do to make sure that we maintain our advantage. That's not Zeratul, that's actually Illidan. I believe he got judgmented. Which is, yeah, fucking judgment, man. This is kind of a cool fight. This fight kind of shows the strengths of Divine Shield. So if you take a look, we're actually 3v4ing. I'm going to go in. And I see the Zeratul, so I figure just stun him. Should have probably Benedictioned. And we're looking at the situation right now. We see Vala's down, so she's probably not going to be much of a threat. We see the Tyrion's probably still hanging out. We're trying to throw some heals on the Kerrigan to make sure she's healthy. And then we're going to see, very shortly, you know, Tychus is getting attacked very quickly. Let's talk real quick about level 20 talents. Going to be taking Redemption. Actually, let's watch the fight first. What am I doing? And Zeratul's going to jump in. Oh, he takes Shadow Assault. Ah! We should probably heal him, which we do. But he's still taking so much damage. We shield him. It's great. So much health. And then he's out of health. He's out of the shield. So look at this. Everyone's collapsing on him. This is Divine Shield City. We Divine Shield him. Everyone's still kind of attacking him. And the Maelstrom goes off, and everyone takes so much damage from Kerrigan because they were trying to jump in on the Tychus. They weren't really focusing on the Kerrigan. And the Kerrigan ends up getting 3 kills because of it. The Tychus does die, but his sacrifice was not in vain. We totally redeem him. Look at this. Here comes another combo. And we're going to stun, secure the kill. Easy. You just gotta use your abilities, man. I think I actually cleansed the Kerrigan pretty randomly. Like, I thought maybe she had frost shots, and I knew she had combo soon, so I just cleansed her for funsies. Again, we're going to look to transition towards top, because maybe I should have stayed bottom. But let's talk about our level 20 talents. We're going to try to get this, but the Azmodan's going to jump on us. Boom. Let's talk real quickly about this, because we're not going to get much of a chance after this moment, I don't think. We're going to be taking Redemption, which is super strong. After Eternal Devotion ends, return to 50% of your maximum health at your spirit's location, and it has a 180-second cooldown. This is so strong. This is a second life. This is a second life. Yeah, that's a super long cooldown, sure, but this is a second life. This can completely turn the tide of battle. We could also be taking Bulwark of Light. It's not bad. Like, if Redemption wasn't an ability, I'd definitely take Bulwark of Light. It's not a bad ability or talent, but Redemption's just so good. You know, it's a second life. You get to live again, and you get to use all these abilities again. You could Benediction double stun and not be bad. You can use Divine Shield again, maybe. Super strong. And that's where the replay crashed, and it made me really sad, and had to look through the replay, all my replays to find this video, and had to search for like 60 minutes to get to the point where we left off, and now we're back, guys, we're back. Oh, this replay system sucks. So we're back. We talked about level 20. We get Redemption, great ability, second life, and all that. We're actually going to get the dragon at this time, as Azmodan can't quite stop us. And at this point, we're going to just attack the minion wave a little bit so we can give our team a second to regroup and help push with the Dragon Knight. Because at this level, it can be a little scary if you're just a lone Dragon Knight hitting on a fort, or just a wall even. Because, you know, people just jump in at you and they want to kill you really, really fast. It was probably safe since 2 people were down. We're going to get the Metamorphosis going down. At this point, we're just trying to do as much siege damage as possible. We're going to jump on the keep, but we're going to jump off the keep as soon as Tyrael jumps in, as soon as anyone jumps in, or as soon as someone gets rooted or something, and the fight begins, basically. And at that point, we're just going to fight the team. And there's the Judgment. We're going to jump on the Tyrael, kick him out of here so he can't really do anything. Maybe could have saved it because the Kerrigan was comboing, but we do get the kill on the Zeratul because of an amazing mosh pit. And just a ton of damage from everyone. We're trying to do a little bit of damage here and there, but, you know, people are too fast, man. They're too fast. I'm just a Dragon Knight. So we're going to head down here, do some damage to this wall. I don't know why it's saying Uther has died. I'm perfectly fine. I'm hanging out in the Dragon Knight, bro. Now we're going to move back. We do actually lose the Kerrigan. I don't think I could have saved her because we were in the Dragon Knight. Maybe if we kick somebody. I'm going to heal the Illidan, put the shield on him, and make sure he gets out of there okay. Having a couple frame issues. That's probably because of the replay. And at this point, I still have shield. I still want to fight, so we're going to try to get a stun off on somebody here. Ideally not the Azmodan, because he's just so tanky, but on somebody. Maybe the Vala if we can. And we're going to try to just go in and make it known that we want to go back in. And that probably signifies, like, hey, this guy's probably still got shield because he was in the Dragon Knight. So the Vala jumps in. We're going to stun the Vala. Illidan's like, oh, yo, baby, let's fight, bro. So we throw the shield on the Illidan. He's just, because he's the target here. Like, who cares about Uther? You got to deal with the Illidan. Illidan's the issue here. And we're going to actually get the stun off really close because of the body block, and it's amazing. And Cheryl, the Malfurion, goes down. Not a lot we can do versus the Azmodan. He's so close to the core. We did get the Metamorphosis off, which I'm not quite sure I agree with, but I mean, you know, why not, I guess. We're really quite ahead by 2 levels. We're same on talents. This is kind of scary because Zeratul's up, but we know we can probably take him since he's so far out. Like, he really shouldn't have been that far out. Just super far out. And yeah, Zeratul jumps in, he's still hanging out, he blinks away, he's going to get away, but that's what Zeratul does, isn't it? Illidan's going to leap over the wall. A lot of value from doing that when you're Illidan. A lot of value to keeping walls up and not just killing them when you have an Illidan on your team, because you can do things like that. And we're going to take the Giants here. We're going to try to take the Bruisers as well, the Knights, and just take control of the map. We could take these, but we want to take advantage when we can. You know, we want to take these when we can. So they can't take them, and we get a bonus from it. Or an advantage, I suppose you should say. Maybe I should have healed the Tychus, which I do. I kind of wanted to bait out the Zeratul jumping in, and we could have just... I was hovering over the Tychus to instantly heal him and shield him and stun the Zeratul, but it doesn't actually happen. Shrines are spawning, and we're going to head bottom to kind of secure that. We just kind of back and forth here because we don't have anyone coming with us, so it's a little scary because we shouldn't just go in there alone as Uther. And you can't really do a lot on your own. So we're waiting a little bit. We don't want to go in yet. We see the Kerrigan coming down and the Illidan, so it's like, alright, time to go. We see two people. We saw the Vala as well. We're going... Kerrigan's going to get ulted. I'm going to actually ult the Kerrigan, I believe. And Illidan, because we look at the situation right here. This is where I was deciding who to ult. You know, we have four ult targets, actually. We could ult ourselves, Illidan, Tychus, or Kerrigan. Illidan has so much health right now, and we have both of our heals, that it would be kind of a waste to just ult the Divine Shield. They're not even attacking him, really. They're attacking the Kerrigan, who's taking a lot of damage, and is Maelstroming. So she's going to want to be in the middle of everyone. So we're going to ult the Kerrigan as opposed to the Illidan, because the Illidan is so healthy, and we still have our heals, and our shield, and our shrink ray. So we ult the Kerrigan, no damage. We're taking a bit of damage. We're just going to get some heals off. You know, if you shield the target they're focusing and they continue to focus it, it can completely change a fight. Or if you save someone when they're really low. But as you'll see here, we get an amazing frag grenade there. And a kill on the Tyrael as well. Nobody actually dies from his ult, or his trait, thankfully. And this gives us a pretty good opportunity to take the Dragon Knight and just win the game. So that's what we're going to be trying to do. We see the ETC has taken bottom. Kerrigan can kind of give us some space as well to take the top shrine and then cap the Dragon Knight. Kind of scary for the Azmodan here. You know, Kerrigan's doing a ton of damage. And I'm not sure if that would have won them the game if they had the Azmodan up, or saved them, not won the game. But at this point, we have both shrines, and I figure if Zeratul is going to hang out, and, you know, if Zeratul wants to come and fight and just ninja take this shrine, we're going to be here. Because we're going to have shield soon, we're going to have this. He does actually end up staying mid, which is going to be a mistake for him. He's just going to get completely massacred by the ETC and the Illidan. Tons of damage. And the Illidan actually gets in the Dragon Knight, and we're just going to hit the core at this point. Like, we're 21 minutes in, we're level 23. You just got to hit the core if you have a Dragon Knight. Just hit the core. That's the motto. That's all you got to do. There's practically nothing they can do to stop the Dragon Knight from just hitting the core and winning the game. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We kind of end up having a little bit of fun, just, you know, trying to stun the Vala, having a little cat and mouse. But, you know, you just hit the core at this point, and you win the game. You know, when you have a Dragon Knight this late in the game, and they don't have all their members up, and they're not all killing the Dragon Knight, just hit the core and you'll win. That's pretty much just how it works. But that is going to lead us into a victory on Dragonshire as Uther, as we ult ourselves amazingly at 21 minutes and 35 seconds. Sorry for the slight technical malfunction. I hope they give some love to the replay system. It's a little buggy at the current build, but I thought this game was a lot of fun to commentate. You know, Uther's he can change fights so easily with Divine Shield and Storm if you decide to take that, and he has so much healing. Just a great hero. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, anything you think is appropriate. And with that being said, I've been Maelstrom, and I'll see you next time.